Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhammad Hakinen, number student 2100010107. In this opportunity, I will present what I have done about analysis of the Indonesian economic growth endogenous growth model. Introduction. Economic growth is an indicator in determining a country's success in terms of increasing production of industrial goods, developing infrastructure, increasing school, increasing production of capital goods, and increasing the service sector. According to Budiono 2012, economic growth is defined as the process of increasing output per capita in the long term. According to him, economic growth is emphasized on three main aspects, namely process, output per capita, and in the long term. As time goes by, Indonesia economic condition experienced significant fluctuation. From 1965 to 1997, Indonesia had quite good economic growth with an average annual growth of 7%. However, the financial crisis that hit Asia at the end of the 90s had a negative impact on the economic growth of Asian countries, one of which was Indonesia as one of the countries affected by the financial crisis. Indonesia economic growth, as seen from gross domestic product or GDP, decreased by 13.6% in 98 and then rose 0.3% in 99. After the Asian financial crisis, Indonesia growth began to recover with an average GDP of 4.6% per year from 2000 to 2004. After 2004, Indonesia economic growth continued to improve and GDP figure reached 6% per year, except for 2009 and 2013, which fell to 4.6% and 5.8% in those 2 years when the global financial crisis occurred. According to Todaro 94, there are three components of economic growth that are important for every society, including capital accumulation, which include all new investment in the form of land, physical equipment, and human resources through improvement in health, education, and work skill. Likewise, the Harrod-Domar economic growth theory is the simplest growth theory. This theory describes a simple economy where in this theory only use capital and labor accumulation as factors that influence a country economic growth. Apart from that, in theory, the interest rate is considered constant or fixed. Meanwhile, another economist, Solow, tried to develop the theory proposed by Harrod-Domar. Solow considered that interest rate can change or not be constant, so that change in interest rate will affect the movement of saving and investment in society. The theory developed by Solow can describe how economic growth occurs in developing countries, where Solow used a combination of capital accumulation and labor. Apart from that, Solow also added technological factor in influencing the country economic growth. Another theory that also explains economic growth is the theory put forward by Romer, known as the endogenous theory. This theory argued capital accumulation is an important factor in determining country economic growth, but more emphasis is placed on increasing human resource skills and the use of technology R&D. Based on these two theories, the author want to see the current condition of Indonesia economic growth. Method and result. Firstly, research method. Data source. The data used in this paper is secondary time series data originating from the Central Statistic Agency (BPS) with the title Indonesian Statistic and Economic Indicator from 2000 to 2013. And then analysis method. The analysis used is quantitative descriptive analysis, qualitative and inferential analysis. Descriptive analysis aim to describe variables related to national income, capital formation, and labor characteristic in Indonesia. Endogenous model. Inferential analysis was carried out using the Cobb-Douglas function model, which was linearized to a multiple linear regression model. This model will explain the relationship between the independent variable x and the dependent variable y. Then research result. Based on data obtained from the Central Statistic Agency or BPS, we can see that the Indonesian economy continued to experience change from time to time as a result of change in economic condition and climate both within the country and abroad. Over the last 15 years, the Indonesian economy has generally experienced sufficient growth, significant. This means that the real amount of goods and service has increased, although in the process from 2007 to 2008, economic activity in Indonesia experienced a setback as a result of the monetary crisis. This resulted in market mechanisms that had an impact on the size of the foreign debt that had to be paid. Data. Here I will take one of the data. Of course, economic growth has other variables that are correlated with each other, such as here with the labor variable, where in the table shown 65% of the workforce in Indonesia is still dominated by non-skilled workers, and only around 35% are skilled workers. Judging from the composition of the education level of the workforce, more than 65% of the workforce does not have skills. This means that to achieve a country with continuous economic growth in the long term requires a number of human resources who have adequate skill. Without adequate or greater skill than those without skill, high and sustainable economic growth in the long term is difficult to achieve. Apart from that, the amount of capital available is still very small, so it cannot be used optimally for investment, real sector, and human resource in developing the Indonesian economy. Conclusion. Perhaps from the result of the research, it can be concluded in my opinion that the independent variable analyzed, the variable that significantly influence output GDP is the capital variable K, while the workforce L, both in total and for each workforce, both for education below a diploma, non-graduate, and worker with a minimum diploma, bachelor education have a insignificant influence on the GDP at current price or a constant price, except for graduate workers at constant price which have a positive but insignificant influence. Of the four model tests, it shows that the sum of all regression coefficient is smaller than 1, respectively 0.7292 and 0.3527 on the basis of current price, as well as on the basis of constant price. The sum of all regression coefficient is 0.1078 and 0.1078 respectively. 0.2002. Thus, it shows that the level of return to scale is decreasing return to scale. From the two results of the analysis above, it can be concluded that Indonesia is currently entering or heading toward the run economic growth era. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.